And we are back. Come on, Toby.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts. A map of London and the surrounding area.
Alright, Toby.
Search, Toby.
Oh shit, I am Toby. Window. First, I think I need a scent from, well, something, but can I go under the table? No. Can I run? Yes, I can. Can I open doors? Thank you. So we know where they walked. So either they left this way or came this way. Oh, leads us to the shack.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware.
And then I saw the trail go in the other direction, I think. Yeah, that way. Toby. Dropped something down the well.
The scent leads to the well. I should check it.
Let me have a look. The well probably doesn't lead anywhere, but you never know. So, looks like an exit or entrance.
The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route.
I do wonder. So, I would imagine that returning something into the shed, taking something out of it, and then the well is like the perfect place to discard things in general, because even if you like draining a well is a task in itself.
This hook might be useful. Bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Bags of seeds. I'm thinking like weights for leverage or something.
Small gardening tools. Nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty.
Okay, so I think I can still look inside. Because I didn't really pay attention to anything but clicking. But some bags of seeds have been, or empty bags, some bags of seeds have been moved around. Okay. So the silverware is down there, so they were going to come back and get it later. Or they left it for someone else, or they well, so many things that you can think about, but I think they framed a robbery. Framed a robbery is one. There's no reason to retrieve it later. And then to leave it for someone else. Still sort of would put the blame on the maid. And I would imagine that there's not really that much.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
There's really not that much. The only motive to kill him for the wife is to just get rid of him, but she doesn't really need the money. And I would imagine neither does the maid, so I need a motive paper just to sort of keep tabs on the less than obvious things for me, at least. So is to kill violence, actually. Kill violence. Stop the violence, and money really not an issue. Marrying fast, if they're sort of con artists, then, or just women who go around marrying people, you know, or men and then get rid of them and then take their money and possessions and move around, it would make sense to get like a violent guy or something like that. I don't know, maybe not violent, but I'd really like to get into her history a little bit more, or their history, because they came from somewhere else, so the tables might be turned in a sense where they're sort of portrayed as the victims, where in fact they're sort of playing around, but you never know. It's sort of, the more I start thinking about things, the less I'm sure about anything, really. But it's not like the Socratic a result of not knowing anything is not good when it comes to detective work. This reminds me of one of those arcade games.
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware.
Indeed. I like how they, Sherlock sort of proves it. Proves things that are, you know, obvious in a sense. So, the path is fairly obvious now. Came out, got some bags from there, empty bags, put the silverware in there, and just tossed it down. And that's it. And then they left through there. Oh, I should probably write down that there was someone here, but right, so storing the silverware. I got another just scribble piece of paper. So the there was someone else here because they left the area, because they're not really gonna they didn't know that somebody would be going snooping down in the well either, so they're not going to think that somebody's going to be... They don't have to pretend that they left and then come back, so someone else was here. At least one person. So let's go back. I want to look at the decanted wine situation, because there's 3 glasses and one of them is not, doesn't make sense. So I don't know about him, but alcohol and him don't mix. He can be drinking without his shoes, but I trust Sherlock in a sense where he says that, because I think because it's a game with restricted, you know, areas and things like that, so he might just sort of shorten some unnecessary digging by just saying that, you know, maybe his shoes are in the bedroom or something. So we know that he sort of left in a rush or whatever. He wasn't really going anywhere. Oh, and the tea pops up here too. Was it always there, or did it happen now? Anyways. Someone else was here, so I don't really know what I'm looking for. Because it might be one of those hidden things. I will still try to find whatever I'm looking for myself before I actually find it, just so to keep it interesting for my mind. Maybe it is that blood there. No. Okay, I have no idea. Mantelpiece? He didn't hit his head here, did he? Oh, shit. That I could have seen, I think. I gave up too easy because I thought I might be hidden. I need to switch my attitude.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
Could I have seen that? Yeah, I could have seen that. Awesome. And also, it was a bell rope, so I didn't actually stop to think about where it's from yet. But, someone else was here. They are tall. Probably male. Probably sailor or knowledge of. Probably acquaintance. Of maid, I would guess, but could be anyone really. That's not a wild assumption, but still assumption nonetheless. And the timeline was a little strained because, well, just the wine decanting and everything. That was actually what I was looking for. So, 1 glass undecanted wine. So someone was drinking undecanted wine, basically alone. Then someone got a decanter from up there, and then put it into the decanter. And actually, well, the separation of the bee's wing or whatever happens in the bottle basically, but I think in the decanter it might happen as well. I'm not sure what the decanter is actually for. The word decanting doesn't really mean anything to me. I've heard it before as the object, the decanter, but I've never Never know what to use it for, but there might be some soot or crystals or whatever coming from the wine into the decanter as well. And so when you pour it, it would actually make sense because the bottom is so wide that when you pour it, there's going to be more room for the crystals or whatever to remain in the decanter. So I think that is probably what it's used for, or why you have to wait when you pour it down there or into one. So 2 people drinking wine would mean that it would be the ladies, or one lady and one male pirate. One male, or that's about it. And then the one glass of undecanted wine is for dead guy. Or then whoever was here, he was waiting around and he just grabbed a bottle of wine or whatever. But this looks more like a drunken rampage in a sense than and I don't think he sits around decanting wine. I think he just engulfs it. He just grabs it, drinks it down unsophisticatedly. Alright, I think it's neuron time. Unless we can go up there, but I don't think we can.
This door.
Right. And I can also... I'll see what I can ask them. Oh. I can ask him stuff too. I don't want to tell him that yet. I mean, I don't think it matters, but I wouldn't tell him that yet because he might get excited. It's Lestrade.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
So either she's lying, or for some reason someone was like, hey, don't drink that wine undecanted, you brutes. I know you're here robbing shit or killing someone and stuff, but so I don't think... I mean, I've seen some wine enthusiasts, and I could actually believe that they would start whining about some fucking decanted wine, but it's, I don't think so. Okay, so the silverware is the only thing I can do right now, so I'll go tell Lestrade first and then talk to the ladies.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Indeed. Ladies.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Okay, so she she's either taking acting classes or she's actually happy to find them. So this is one of those things where I'm just like, I don't know how people fucking respond.
We found your silverware, Lady Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Fuck this. They're both very happy. But they would be, like... It's one of those things where if you're gonna... Again, if you're gonna plan all this out, you're gonna plan for it to be found too. But I still don't understand, like... The motive for leaving this stuff is because you don't actually... First of all, you don't actually need it immediately, at least. Well, you don't need it because you could have just, you're climbing the fence and you're leaving, just take it with you and, you know, it does have markings on it that you can trace back, so in a way, there's not much chance of you selling them in England at least, and then, you know, people are going to be looking for them, I would imagine, because this is a highborn house. But like said before, there's, you know, a lot of things to steal, and stealing something that, you know, a candlestick, candle stand, coins, things like that makes sense. But then if you're stealing something with a logo on it, it, like, from all the things that you can steal, it just doesn't sort of make sense. But I'm still in the sort of evidence gathering mindset, so I'm not really putting things together right now. But I think I probably should. So let's look at the neurons. So 2 glasses, bent poker. Oh yeah, was it bent? Because I don't. Let me have a look at it. I mean, it's like bent. Does it mean that it's bent because it is bent always, or is it bent? Because I don't know. I would imagine a bent poker is nicer than a straight one, because you can actually, like, grasp things, and it looks like it's in a 90-degree angle, so it's not like it was bent from, well, definitely not bent from the strike, but I guess it might just be like the name of the poker, I don't know, or a type of poker. So those definitely serve. The death of Sir Eustace could have been due to his accidentally striking his head on a fireplace grate. So let me just look at that a little bit. But I mean, it's totally possible. And then let's just run through that. He falls down, and let's sort of not try to make it too logical, because we don't know enough, or I don't know enough right now. But he's drunk, he's fucking around, I don't know what he's doing over there. This, I mean, looks like a sturdy shelf, but let's say someone gets shoved into the shelf, things start falling down. He gets pushed, but I can't see the back of his head. Let me have another look, because the hole is right here, And I would imagine it would give us the opportunity to, you know, look underneath it. But we already know someone else has been here, so whether it's an accident or not, if it's an accident, then something happened afterwards where they felt like they had to establish that it wasn't an accident. Now, what would you want to make an accident seem like a murder? It just, the only thing I can think of is like an insurance claim that if the people, like, I don't know how he would lose any money or how she would lose any money from, you know, it being an accident, really, because she's rich basically now. So cui bono is her a lot. But we also know that, you know, people frame shit, and, you know, do they think enough to cut the bell rope right here from a higher place? That's one of those things that doesn't really occur to people, because it's one of those things. I mean, that vase is, you could sell that too. There's a lot of stuff here right now. Okay, let's look at the neurons again. Violent behavior, and there's no personal life. Where do we get that one from? I don't see this one fitting with anything really, but those definitely have something to do with each other. Oh, right, so the death of Sir Eustace could have been due to his accidentally striking his head on the road. The death of Sir Eustace could have been due to a poker blow, so it could be both. So I'm not gonna choose one yet. The knotted rope and glasswood beeswing and 2 glasses. I mean, okay, so they obviously have things to do with each other, but I didn't know what. There were 3 people drinking wine out of these glasses. One of the 3 probably prefers wine with beeswing. There were 2 people drinking wine out of these glasses. The remaining glass with the beeswing consisted solely of the dregs from the other 2 glasses. The remaining glass with the beeswing consisted solely of the dregs from the 2 glasses. I don't really know if, like, how is that even possible? I would have rather said that it consisted solely of the dregs from the bottle. But I need to sort of think about it, because I tend to not really be able to get anything out of one situation by itself. I should probably try that more, where I look at a single situation and try to get something out of that rather than try to always plant it into the entire thing, because that's how I miss things. Right, let's see what else is here. So criminals identified, silverware found. I mean, that's like, you know, case is solved basically once we find them, but I don't see these connecting in any sort of reasonable way. The Randalls are well known, and the criminals identified would sort of, because they are well known, that's who they would attack. The robbery was faked and the whole story invented in order to blame Sir Eustace's death on the Randalls. The testimonies and evidence match and point to the Randall gang. So, let me just have a look at the letter, this one. Processor description. Dangerous band. Elder Jack Randall, gray-haired, average height. William Randall, tall and broad-shouldered, with a small head. Melvin Randall, weaker, skinny. So everything is pointing towards this being framed. Because, you know, not much was... The only thing that was stolen was things with logos in it, and then they had to hide them, either because there's logos on them, or... well, no other reason, really, because they could just take them anyway, so... And I guess the Randalls, they don't really... I guess there's, like, they're brutal. And they did have a pirate career. So this looks like a bad frame of some pirates. But the details are sort of like, I guess someone could figure out the height of the rope, maybe not, but the knots on the rope, I don't actually know why, because the knots looked a little weird. Let's see, like, why are there knots on it? Why is it cut like that, like in many places, and then knotted together? Did they cut more bell rope from all around the house? So let me just have a look, because that's just so weird. Okay, I think we're gonna have to look at more neurons, and then we'll see. How many are there? 2, 4, 6, 7. So there's still something that we can find as clues. So I don't. What was this? Lady Berkenstall seldom went out after arriving in England. It was commonly known that she had no social life nor any close friends. So that is sort of important. Because it would, how would she, you know, plan things if she really doesn't know anyone? So her solitude is, points towards innocence, in a way, because we know that someone was there. I mean, we have to assume that someone escaped or left the scene, so that would sort of mean that, because I feel sort of insecure about stating facts, but I think we should, or I should, make a list of all the things that I will take as fact, and then I can always erase them, but I think some things are the kind of thing where like the sort of the escape path of the person who was here. I think Toby would have noticed if it was someone else, so it like has to be fact. So someone else was there, probably male, tall, and that would mean that the lady is innocent of sort of at least not being the head poncho of the whole thing. So, let's see, criminals identified, knotted rope, from Australia. No, I was thinking sailing. Right. Well, no personal life and violent behavior. I don't know, like, what do I want to gain from that? Inspector's tale. Severe drinking problem. Once he set Lady Brackenstall's dog on fire. Decanter at Theresa. Alright, let's see what we got now from just, like, if we can talk more, because there's not really that... I mean, I sort of like that there's not that many places we can go.
Please leave my Mary alone.
Oh, what a...
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about all this.
What the fuck is Watson? Watson? He doesn't usually disappear like that. I mean, he disappears, but then he reappears, like, right behind you. Maybe Watson did it. I'll have a brief look, now that we're outside, just a brief look in the shed so that if there's any sort of markings around and things like that. Nothing. So I think we're safe to say that this was... I mean, in some sense it was framed, or some parts of it were framed at least. Who would have knowledge of decantering wine? Let's think about it, like if they... Why do they have a decanter there if they had beeswings in there anyway? Like, that's just sort of weird to me, and I should know more, I guess, but it sort of doesn't make sense that you would pour 2 glasses, have a decanter there, and then fake the decantering, because there hasn't really been much reason to fake the decantering. Let me just check wine. So, poison. Reason to have, I mean, this is getting wild, but you have wine in the bottle and wine in the decanter. You put poison in the bottle, and then you give that wine to one person, and then you drink the 2 of you, whoever poisoned the guy, drink from another or another bottle. And so I'm bothered by the look of the because this has markings on the side like it's been drunk, or then, oh yeah, I can turn it around. I should have actually looked at it better before, because it still looks like it was drunk from, possibly something was poured out of it. And the same with this one. It's pretty much exactly the same, I think. And then this one looks like no one has drunk from it. And if no one's drunk from this glass, it might mean that they actually did pour the sort of the soot or whatever into this glass. We have to sort of assume it, because if pouring or drinking wine leaves, you know, markings like that, and this one doesn't have them, then that means that this glass was not drunk from. So I'll just write this. Someone was here, or someone else was here, and then third glass not consumed from. And we're just going to have to assume it because, you know. What else? What else can we just sort of state for sure? Well, he's dead. That's for fucking sure. Was there anywhere a picture of him? I guess these are the dead guys. What's he holding in his hand? Because if he needed a walking stick, and like I said before, he could have had a gun. I can't really make anything out of this. I can't really make any certain guesses out of that either. But that is blood, so we know that his blood ended up there, but I'm no bloodologist. I don't know how that works. So he is getting his blood on that somehow. He's also got blood on the ground from just whacking his head, falling down. He's got blood on his shirt too. Like right there. Can I see it better here? Yeah. How does blood... That's actually a good point. He has a head wound and blood is dripping down onto his shirt, so we know that he got his injury while standing up, and he was actually, or not standing up, well, yeah, pretty much fucking standing up, because the blood is dripping on his shirt there. So we have to assume this. So standing or sitting. Because there's no way for blood to start falling sideways. We live in a universe with, you know, certain laws. So if we take that into consideration, that he was up for long enough for the blood to trickle down. And then what happened? The poker was... That's the spot for the poker, I would imagine. The one facing this direction. So someone grabs it. If they're significantly taller, they could possibly, with a bent poker, they could possibly hit someone on the head from behind. But Sherlock did say that the strike came from the front. So I don't know, like, if we're supposed to take that as... I think we're supposed to take that as truth. And then, if it was him actually tied to the chair first, why would you tie him up? You're asking him about something. You're asking him about the safe. Anything. But there's no blood on that chair. There's some blood on the front of his shirt too. There's no blood on his feet or his pants. So, I don't know what to think about that. If he's sitting down, the blood is going to get on his pants too. And I'm just wondering, because Sherlock said about the boots that, you know, he came down here from his bed. But I don't know why he would try to mislead us. The blood on the grating just looks suspicious as fuck. Like, how do you get it all over there? The only way is to sort of face the fire and then sit towards the fire and then have it sort of trickle down on it. But the death was instant, so... So here's what I think. The death was instant. We know that for sure as well. Let me write that down. So now I'm starting to think that he was actually sitting down for all of this. There's no evidence of it really anywhere except for his body, his person, because he clearly, the blood has been trickling down on his shirt. And if the death is instant, he's not gonna, he's gonna get hit in the head and then he's gonna fall or crumble down. If he was hit from the front, he's gonna get hit in the head, crumble down, and the blood is not going to trickle on his shirt for sure. I mean, there's not enough time. It's not like in the movies where if you die instantly, you stand up for a while. I don't think that's not what instant means. There's no markings on the chair that would sort of insinuate that he had been tied up on that or sitting down in that. There's a lot of broken shit down here. There's no blood. I was thinking like shit just falls on his head. I'll figure things out in the next episode, or you know, try to at least, and we'll see where we can get to.